Our adventures always start at Clark's Pump and Shop.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Back to Rafferty's Restaurant here in Hamburg. Gary Ball, Mike Meehan, King of Stream, and Jared Peck is in with us too, the Herald leader. We'll talk with him a little bit later. I want to introduce to you Phillip Hawkins, the coach at Bryan Station. Coach, I'm hearing good things about the defenders out there on the north side.
Well, we should be heading in a pretty good direction, but we'll never know until, our first game in August.
You never know from one scrimmage either. Don't take anything from that scrimmage. I know LCA's pretty darn good.
Yeah, that's why we scrimmage them. We feel like it'll give us an opportunity to look at some different pieces, and we did some things that we just wanted to see. That's the purpose of that scrimmage, and we learned a lot about some of our younger kids and some of our transfers, and this week the job is to change that around, fix what we need to fix, and head into another scrimmage for another tune-up.
Are you playing any bowl games this year?
We are. Week 2, we're playing in the Rebel Bowl against Boyle County.
That'll be a good game.
Should be. We hope it is.
And let's talk a little bit about your first scrimmage with LCA. How'd that scrimmage go?
We had some issues in some places, but we expect that. If we walked into that scrimmage and had 0 issues, it'd be tough. And
it will be a scrimmage.
Yeah, so one of the standout things that I took away from it is, we were pretty fast on the whistles with the quarterbacks. And that's all great when you've got a 3-step, 5-step quarterback. But when you've got a running quarterback and you reach out and just touch him on the arm, and so we didn't get really the look we wanted with Trenton Cutright, but we saw enough to know he's an athlete and can rush. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's interesting. You said that. I never thought about that. But when you blow a quick whistle on a running quarterback, you're taking away half of his game or more. And but also the teams you're going to play early in the season, they don't see that either in the scrimmage, so they can't see him run.
Well, the thing is, we do have a different. We've got a true dual threat quarterback. He did make some good decisions and completed some balls. He made a couple bad decisions too, which we expect. He's still growing and learning, but we do know that he is another running back there also. And so we didn't, we don't do a lot in scrimmage 1. One of my coaches asked, everybody in Lexington knows our playbook. I said, no, I think we ran 8 different plays, over and over and over again, just to get an idea and let some of these kids get a feel for a high-level environment, which certainly is with LCA. So, they've got a great football team, and that's Doug Charles does an unbelievable job. And since I took the Bryan Station job, that's been one of our things. I wanted to have that scrimmage with LCA for those kind of reasons. I know they're going to be solid in a lot of spots that I know if I can see some things can help our program. So, I actually felt worse about it Friday night, and then I went back and I called JT Haskins, my defensive coordinator, and said, that wasn't as bad as we thought. We took a lot of short whistles that would not have been whistles on a Friday night, and a lot of them. And that, it was literally a finger touch, and they blew the whistle dead. So, I'm excited going into this week's scrimmage just to get a better feel for what we are, and of course, 2 weeks from now we're really going to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, by the way, before I say anything else, I coached at Bryan Station for 19 years, and I saw his picture of your new scoreboard on there. Man, I tell you what, that scoreboard, that looks sharp. That thing you had up there before, I was a little worried about that. I think there was a little man up there changing numbers up there.
I'll tell you, there were several times in the last 2 seasons we had to order parts for it in between games. So, when Dermonti Dawson came to visit recently, he told me, he said, that was my old scoreboard. So that thing had been there for a while, and we're excited about the upgrades we have, touched so far this year. In the last 2 years, we got an unbelievable weight room and our locker room, and we want to upgrade the facilities to match, the level we want the program to be. So it was nice seeing that operating for sure.
Well, Coach, when I think of Bryan Station, I always think of great athletes. Kids that can run, they can catch a ball, and you got those kids at Bryan Station again this year.
We do. I mean, I knew when I took that position, I knew the one steady fact that there would be some great athletes walking through that building, and certainly there are, and I think that's added to some of our success, and we still have athletes on our roster this year, and our biggest thing is just figuring out where they all fit, and some have changed a little bit physically, and just finding new roles for everybody, but there's certainly a lot of history of athletes at Bryan Station for sure.
Let's talk a little bit about, can you talk a little bit about your assistant coaches and the people that help you, and maybe a little background?
Yeah, so I feel I've been very vocal about the level of coaching staff that I feel like I have. We have they made me look smart year one, and they've been, they'll make me look smart year three, but JT Haskins is my defensive coordinator, and he's also my associate head coach, and of course he played at Bryan Station the last time they were in a state championship game, and he played at Louisville and is well thought of in the community.
Played for the Horsemen.
Yes, played for the Horsemen. So, he's got a great connection to the community. And then Jacob Hyde is my D-line coach that played at Kentucky, played deep nose guard and fullback some. And then our Enrique Shaw, we added to the staff this year, was at Lafayette for a long time, Coach Shaw's son, and he played at Michigan State. And then Danny Thomas played at Eastern. He's our safeties coach, and also played for the Cardinals for a couple years in the NFL. And on offense, Harry Lewis, who also played at Louisville with JT, actually played at North Carolina for a year, and he is one of Coach Buchanan's proteges.
Yeah.
I think he played in Maysville.
And he did. He played Mason County, then played for the Horsemen too.
Right. He does a great job. And then our O-line coach is Nigel Wells, who played at Kentucky. He's a Henry Clay kid, and we really like his addition. And then Andy Halloran, who's been with me since the beginning, we've moved him to running backs just to make things work, and sometimes you have to do that on a high school staff, and he's graciously decided to do that for us, and he's doing a good job. And I don't want to leave. Oh, and Cord Sandberg, we hired an interesting new assistant coach. Cord was I want to get this right, the 7A player of the year 2 years in a row in Florida as a football player in high school. And he committed to Mississippi State as a quarterback out of high school, and then was drafted out of high school. So he went to the Phillies for 6 years, was in their organization. Then he left the Phillies and went to Auburn and was their tight end and quarterback at Auburn. And then he's found his way to our staff. And, that's a huge addition. He's still in his late 20s, and he connects well to the kids, and he has a lot of new ideas and knowledge. And, we're just super excited about the guys I have on my staff.
Well, you do have a good staff, Coach. I tell you, we heard about Jonathan Hawk's staff at Tate's Creek, but it sounds like Coach Hawkins got a great staff at Bryan Station.
It is, and there's a lot of pride. I know that for certain. I live on the north end of town. There's a lot of pride over there in that area, and you've brought a lot of pride in. The one thing they mention a lot is discipline. That you brought some discipline to the program.
Yeah, we set a pretty high bar when we got there, and I think that really triggered the turnaround. The expectations at the bar went from whatever level it was to, something that may be unobtainable, and the kids push and push and push to get to that level of discipline, and that's still something that I work on every day with these kids, and that's what separates championship teams, from the ones that aren't, and so it's a constant practice of ours, and the kids have bought into all that. It's just, they got to follow through with it, and we're still dealing with 17, 18-year-old kids, so you never know. But, the kids have done well with that aspect for sure.
Excellent. Let's go on to your team now. Let's talk a little bit about your offense. Give me a little idea of who you have back, Did you lose anybody that you're going to miss a little bit, or?
Yeah, it's sort of interesting. I like going and getting basketball players and turning them into receivers. So last year we had a Jamarius Lindsay, who was straight off the basketball court, and he did fairly well for us. And then we had Javon Hurt that transferred in from Douglas that did well for us. So those are two spots that you may struggle in another year to replace, but because of the athletic ability of some of the kids, we have another basketball player that got his first taste of varsity football Friday night, and he ran wide open all night, but he could not catch a football. And I think a lot of it was, he was just a little bit anxious, new environment. So I think he's going to do a good job helping carry some of that. And we lost 2 linemen from the offensive line that did a good job for us, but we've had some young guys we've been sort of developing, and so we're not real panicked about the O-line. We just think they need to get some miles under them, and then of course our quarterback's back. 2 of our running backs are back. We lost Joey Bond, who was a great kid. I mean, everybody in this town loved Joey, but he had some injury bug things going on last year and didn't get as many reps. And so we have Jeremiah Mundy Lloyd that transferred to us. He's a big, 6'2" running back. He has not yet practiced with us. He had a little surgery last spring that we're trying to get fixed, and we'll see him soon. But we have a kid named Bennett. Bayou Bahi Bennett is his name. We just call him Bennett. It's a lot easier. But Bennett started to show some ability last year for us, and so now he's trying to take over some of that, and we tried a couple others. Friday night I think I used 3 or 4 different running backs, and Jason Hawker was as good as any of them. He's a big physical kid with some athletic ability, and we have another kid whose last name's Fogel, Dejair Fogel, that got some reps. So we planned that scrimmage out that way. Let's see how many people can touch the ball, and see how many receivers. We found a couple receivers that caught passes that let us know, okay, there's 2 more guys.
Absolutely.
So, personnel-wise on offense, we lost some key guys, but I think in the end we're going to be pretty comfortable with what we replaced them with.
Coach, have you found a couple of guys that are so talented and so team-oriented that you've already named them a captain of your football team?
We have not. That is something that the team's going to decide for us this year. I mean, part of changing the culture of a program is also creating leadership within. So we've been working with some young kids who are now starting to get into their junior year, senior year for some of them, and they're starting to step up and take some roles. And I think we just let that progression happen. We'll know who the captains are by the time we kick it off, I think.
That's one of the, I think one of the most important things on a high school football team is leadership. Teams that lead and teams that love each other seem to do better than other teams.
Yeah, I think I heard once. A good team's led by the coach, a great team's led by its players. So, we're just sort of nurturing that, and the ones that step up and take over that leadership role they will have earned it, and I think it's more pure and it lasts a little bit longer. So, right now I couldn't tell you. I just hope they pop up.
Yeah. Let's talk about defense.
Okay.
All right. What do you got?
I don't want to jinx this, but I think JT Haskins does a pretty good job with that defense, and I think that we have enough returners on defense to make that a scary situation. So, JT Haskins Jr. Is returning. He's a safety. Has some offer from Louisville, some other offers. He'll be important for us. Also, Jason Hawker, who's a linebacker with multiple Division I offers. He's going to play a key role for us. Javon and Devon Frazier both have D1 offers. One's an outside linebacker, one's a DN. They're very important in returning starters. And Isaiah Watts, one of our corners, is a very aggressive downhill kid that we love. This will be his 3rd year starting and he's a junior. So that 24 class has got some great ones in it. on defense. And then we picked up a couple great kids. Zachariah Dabney was at Henry Clay last year, and so now we've had him since January, and he's starting to find his way. You know, we have a little bit different defense going on than what he's used to, so he's having to adjust a little bit and learn our way. But, you know, I think he's going to do great for us. He's sideline to sideline. And then Marshawn Baker Thomas transferred here from Garrett County. I think he was their second leading tackler last year. He's a junior also in that class. So, you know, we feel good about that. We lost a good D lineman, a really good D lineman last year that's going to play at Georgetown College. But I think we had enough depth there that transition's been easy. You know, we did try some new people Friday night. One of them was an offensive lineman, and he looked pretty good as a D lineman. So Gary McCauley, who's been our starting left tackle, he was a grown man at defensive end.
Well, Coach, you know, a lot of people now, they know Bryan Station's a very tough football team. You've been able to come in just a few years. I remember that game that you played Douglas to one point. I think that turned a lot of heads in Lexington football.
Well, I think that was Scott County. I think it was my first game
Scott
was
County.
Against Scott County,
Okay.
and Scott County had their way for 2 decades with Bryan Station.
You're right.
And I think the year before it was 57-7. So my phone was buzzing the whole football game because a lot of people didn't think the score was right.
Right.
You know, and I'm okay with that. I'm nervous, you know, new school. I think I've got something. And, you know, I also know Jim McKee's a good friend of mine. He always coaches those guys up. And when it's 6-0 in the third quarter, I'm thinking, well, this is really different than what it's been in past. So I think that game probably let a lot of kids on our team know, okay, you know, we just played with a team, although we lost, which I hate saying a loss is a win, but culturally it was a win because, you know, 6-7 lost to Scott County after some horrendous beatdowns over the years. We got a lot of momentum from that. And
Gary, you know I live in the North End. And so,
you do.
The community after that game was talking about your defense.
Yeah.
The people that I ran into, the old Bryan Station people and people that, you know, called me ex-players, they said, man, they're playing some D over there. And that was really good.
I think that we're going to be playing some D again. I mean, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I made an arrangement with JT when I got hired. You keep them to 20. I'll try to get 21, you know, and he has kept them to 14. So, you know, and I think we've averaged 29. So it's worked out well for us, and it's accounted for some wins. But defense may be special this year.
I'm sorry, I thought that was Douglas, but, you know,
no, it's okay.
Scott County, you know, same type of breath, same good,
mentality.
Exactly, same mentality. But I tell you what, Coach, we have about 2 or 3 minutes left here. You've done a great job at Bryan Station High School, and I got to ask you, what's your favorite thing when you come to Rafferty's restaurant?
My favorite thing to eat? Those chicken strips I've been staring at this whole interview. It's going to be mine to eat when I'm finished. No, I'm
kidding. Here's a gift card from Rafferty's from us for doing the show. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
And good luck this year. Good luck in your scrimmage Friday and your opener against Frederick Douglass. I got that right, didn't I?
You got it. That is going to be a game to watch. You know, it's going to be a great crowd and 2 good teams and maybe 2 special defenses. It may be 3-0 by the time that game's over. I mean, their defense is amazing. I think ours is amazing. It's going to be fun.
Coach Peak told me when I talked to him on the phone, he's got 7 kids on defense that are Division I players.
And I think we have 5.
It's not bad at all.
So that's pretty good.
That's pretty darn good.
And thank you for joining us, Coach. We enjoyed it and appreciate it. Here's your gift card from Rafferty's.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
That's Phillip Hawkins, coach from Bryan Station Defenders out there in your neck of the woods.
That's right.
And we'll come back. We got Bert Bathiani from Catholic. Get his thoughts. That was Phillip Hawkins from Bryan Station. We'll be back on the Prep Spin.
Kids deserve the space to grow, to play, to explore. And if they get sick or hurt, they deserve a hospital devoted to them. This is our promise, the most advanced care possible. with doctors, nurses, therapists, and surgeons who specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital. And for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives, it's saving lifetimes.